I'm gonna do something else real quick. I can't hear anything. YouTube, what's popping, baby? I almost didn't make it to y'all today, but I'm here. And I'm trying to fix something in the process, but I'm here and we're gonna go over this recap today. So just bear with me for 1 second while I fix what I need to fix and figure out why I don't got no damn sound over there. Because I don't got no sound. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold up, chat. Hold up, chat. Okay. All right. Thought you said 5 p.m. Listen, I almost didn't even make it today. Okay. I almost didn't even make it today, man. I uh I freaking I freaking my throat is killing me and like mix that with the my voice being lost. I feel like I'm fighting a flu. Like it's not fully a flu, but I'm fighting a flu. I'm fighting something and I don't know what the hell happened. But it doesn't help that I lost my voice yesterday. Mike, what's going on, baby? TikTok, we're live on YouTube as well. That'll be easier to communicate with the chat. Just want to let people know that if you're a subbed up member, a paid sub on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or anything like that, make sure you join the Discord. I'll drag you in. Join the voice channel that's called Member Drag, and I'll drag you into the channel, and we can get you in, and we'll cycle through people who are paid subs if they want to come on in and voice their opinion and stuff. But obviously, we're here today to recap the tragedy that we saw, go through a little therapy session. I wanted to go through some of the I rewatched. I didn't rewatch. I watched some of the nightcap stuff with Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp. So I want to get into that a little bit. I also want to talk about Kevin Stefanski had a press conference today. There was one surprising thing that I took away from that. So I definitely want to talk about that a little bit. Kevin Stefanski still has a job. Bubba Ventrone still has a job. Uh, blows my mind, but I guess the writing is on the wall that that'll be, probably an end of the year type of decision. Rookie of the week. I mean, there should be a no brainer on that. We'll get into that a little bit, but let's kick off with the first thing, and that's the negative, right? In terms of the quarterback play, in terms of Shedeur Sanders, and that's going to be the interception throw, because everybody seems to want to talk about how at least with Shedeur, none of the positives. It's always the negatives, and the one thing that people are going to say is, well, what about the bad interception that he had? And if you guys didn't catch the press conference yesterday, um, it was he said he was asked about the interception, and his response was something that we haven't had before. And he told us that he was trying to make a spark. And that was the first time all season, or I mean, probably since Baker or Joe Flacco, who understood the moment in terms of needing that spark from your team. And for a fifth round rookie to be able to identify stuff like that, that's just another thing that we can look at Shedeur and be like, man, this dude has QB1 written all over him for real. And that interception is something that we can live with, because at the end of the day, did it hurt the Browns? Yeah, a lot of momentum came with that interception, but we still had an opportunity to go down there and win the game, led by our rookie who tried to get us that spark. And I think if you're a football player, I think especially if you're a Browns football player, you could use any spark that you got. Grant Delpit said it in his press conference the week after we won the Raiders, and said that Shedeur definitely brings that energy and they need it. And when your team officially gets bounced from the playoffs. Like, it's now official. There's no more playing though. Well, there's still a chance, hypothetical. You need any type of spark and any type of flair, especially going for the rest of the season, because you don't want your players to check out. And that, for the first time, all season, it felt like the Browns had checked out in that first quarter, which was weird to see. So um it's going to be interesting to see the effort of this team moving forward. Obviously, Miles Garrett's still playing for 25. There's going to be some players who are playing for contracts. Like Devin Bush is still probably going to put out some really good tape, because the more tape that he puts out, the more money that he'll probably get. And I'm hoping that we can find a way to re-sign what you call it, uh, Devin Bush, because you don't want to let him walk. But let's get into the 4-minute drive before the halftime. You know, the one of my major problems that I had with um the aggressiveness towards the end of the game yesterday, when he decided to forfeit the point after attempt to go for two the first time, is that why be aggressive now? You know what I mean? Like, you had an opportunity to be aggressive earlier in the game when you had a 4th and 2 in their opponent's territory, and you decide that, nah, we're gonna hard count, and then we're gonna take the delay of game just to punt out the punting team. And if you didn't take the delay of game, you would have gotten the first down because that team decided to jump offside. You didn't want to go for a 4th and 2 there, be aggressive there, and put your foot forward then, but you decided that end of the game, when your rookie quarterback just drove down and ran the ball in with his feet, and then drove down again, that's when you decided to be aggressive. That's the part that has me upset. It's like, how are you going to choose one time to be aggressive and the other side not be aggressive? That, in one situation where it makes more sense to be aggressive than the other not. And I know this whole thing with the well, the analytical approach is smart. Like, what happened to just the football approach? There isn't a professional athlete out there. I know Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco, and I know there were a couple other professional athletes that were just as puzzled as we were. It was like, well, why wouldn't you just take the point after attempt and then go for two? I can't find a professional athlete that is going on the analytical side. My counterpart on Honor the Land is in that camp where they made the right decision to go for two the first time, because it gives you two opportunities to get the tie game on the second time. And I'm completely like, do I get the numbers behind it? Yes. But in terms of football, in terms of what is the smart and just the right play to do right now, like, without having to dig into the analytics. And the funny thing about the whole analytics part, and the thing that they're arguing, is that, well, it gave you a 50% more chance to get it. Funny enough, the analytics that they're talking about, you had the X amount of chance to get it. You failed on both times. So you did all of this analytical maneuvering to try to outsmart and be like, well, it's smarter to go for two here. And both times it failed. And then we're gonna play the other caveat, not my other counterpart on that Honor the Land, our production guy, my boy Pat. He went on to say, well, what if Andre Schmidt misses it? I'm sorry. Andre Schmidt has been damn near automatic since week one. And y'all know me, I wanted Andre Schmidt's head on a platter. But unfortunately, I had to eat crow, and he hasn't missed since week one. So I'm not playing the, well, what if Schmidt missed an extra point when he's given us no reason to believe that Andre Schmidt would be missing this kick, especially a extra point kick, when he hasn't missed since week one. So don't give me the whole it's an analytical thing, because had not someone brought that point up, there is no, we're not talking about, well, it's a 50% more chance than if he were to kick the thing now. It's just like, no, you're in the moment. What is the football play? What is the football flow of the game is dictating right now? And it was dictating, you probably should have just took your points. Now, had Kevin Stefanski took the extra point the first time and decided to go for the win the second time, I would have had zero problem with the aggressiveness, regardless of the outcome. Had we got it or had we not got it, I would have lived with that, because that is the moment where you decide to be all aggressive. That's that moment when you're looking at like the longest yard, when they said, hell, we're convicts. Let's go for the wins. Like, hell, we're 3-9. Let's go for the win now. Not, yeah, let's take our 2 here and then, give ourselves a better chance to hopefully tie them. No, bump that. We either gonna win or we gonna lose. And I would rather have that on the second drive than the first one, just in my humble opinion. So that's the big thing that really just drives me crazy, is that the aggressiveness from the second quarter to the fourth quarter doesn't align with Kevin Stefanski's philosophy. And just to take that even a step further, they took the whole analytics approach towards it. When has Kevin Stefanski ever done that in the history of Kevin Stefanski? And then to go even further, they said, well, a lot of coaches done it. I still have yet to get 1 game, 2 games where all of these coaches did the exact thing that the Browns did when they were down 14 and decided to go for 2 first instead of going for 2 second and kicking the point. I haven't got any. Can someone give me some dates, please? Because I still don't know. I just know that a lot of other coaches do it, yet I still don't see it. So if you guys can help me with that, I would kindly appreciate it. We would have won in OT too. And that's the thing. Obviously, we don't know how would we have won in overtime. But what we do know is that momentum was on our side. What we do know is that our rookie quarterback threw for 369 yards and had 395 yards total collectively across the ground. What we do know is that we wouldn't even be in this situation had our rookie quarterback been on the field or to make the play. So it's like, obviously, we don't know, but why in the hell are you taking your best player on the field out of the game? This isn't the first time that the Kevin Stefanski era has done this. He's done it with Shedeur Sanders. He's done it with Judd. He's done it with Nick Chubb countless and countless times. You think about the times when I mean, what Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy have probably benefited most out of the when they finally got force fed, and one of those came at the hands of Tommy Reese's play calling against Denver on the Jerry Jeudy side. So I don't know. You can't hear me. Am I good? Audio should be good. I think audio should be good. But I gotta be Kev's biggest hater. Stefanski is keeping you up. Look, Wens, you can think all you want that I'm Kevin Stefanski's biggest hater. If I want some mid, I'll make sure to come to your door. If I want below mid, you know what I'm saying? I'll make sure I come to your door, because it's clear that guys like you are comfortable with, mediocrity at best. Like, we're not even talking about Kevin Stefanski exceeding the mediocrity point. His ceiling is mediocrity. Like, once you get to the ceiling of mediocrity and he gets through that threshold of mediocrity, all hell starts to break loose. So you have fun with the mid quarterback and keep going to war for a coach who has 4 out of 6 losing seasons. But that can't be me. So have fun one days with that. We're gonna move on. It's not hating anymore. It's realistic. It really is, Master. And I see you in the drag channel too. I'm gonna definitely get you up in there, my boy. Let me go. What's the next thing I wanted to talk about? I mentioned it on the broadcast yesterday. There's one thing that Kevin Stefanski has always harped on, right? And that's explosive plays. Well, the Browns had at least 3 offensive explosive plays this past week. And how many did we have with Dylan Gabriel? How many did we have with Joe Flacco this year? I think I'm running short, but I don't think there were any explosive plays this year that I can actually think of. And Shedeur Sanders has done that. You talk about, we talk about X's and O's in terms of Shedeur Sanders. The one thing that people always say is, well, he can't make the throws. He can't do this. And that's slowly. They putting that to bed quick. But think about last week. What throw did he miss? He missed the over-the-top throw when he stepped into the pocket and tried to deliver it to Jerry Jeudy. He came back the very next week, not the same exact throw, but almost the same exact throw to Jerry Jeudy, and it turned into a touchdown. What was another thing that people were always harping on? He likes to take too many sacks. He must have had "don't take sacks" written somewhere on his wrist this past week, because you could definitely tell that there was a major emphasis on not taking sacks this week. So I'm confused on what exactly are we wanting in our quarterback? What exactly are you expecting out of your quarterback? Are we blinded? Are the people who don't want to see Shedeur succeed blinded because you're a Baker Mayfield fan, or you're a Deion Sanders hater, or what exactly it is? Because I was sitting here and I was trying to come to realization. I was wondering, why is there so much hate for Shedeur Sanders when all of Browns fans told me, and we not even told me, we all know the reasons why Browns fans hate Deshaun Watson. There's real merit as to why you would hate Deshaun Watson as your quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. But I'm not quite understanding when you have the complete alter the complete opposite of what Watson is on the other side of the coin, a God-fearing man who speaks about God any chance he can, who's always done the right things, who's been in the community more than anybody on this team, if it seems like, since he's been here, who has done and said the right things at all time, who didn't bitch and complain and moan when he got drafted in the 5th round and got thrown in the back of the bench. Like, all this guy who has basically puts out nothing but positive aura. You guys hate him with a passion, but y'all hated Deshaun Watson for the exact reasons that that he's not what Shedeur. Like, how do I put that? Deshaun is exactly, or Shedeur in terms of the person is exactly what you wanted Deshaun, but you still don't like Shedeur Sanders. You get where I'm trying to go with that. So I'm just confused on, like, why do we hate? Why do you hate Shedeur Sanders so much? Because he's literally everything that Baker Mayfield was times two. It had this had been Baker Mayfield in the helm right now, this city would be salviating at the mouth at an extreme rate, and nothing would have stopped it. We loved this stuff with Baker Mayfield and all of this, the moxie and the. I saw the comments in the section where it's like, well, he doesn't have to be sarcastic in the interview when he asked the question. But when Baker Mayfield was sarcastic and told us that he woke up was feeling dangerous and he came at Tony Grossi this type of way and was backfiring at all of the questions and giving you that smirk and that moxie, oh, we loved it. I mean, we loved it so much that it got progressive commercials every other commercial. But now, because Shedeur Sanders is here, it just make it make sense. Try to make me understand where the hate's coming from, because I can't see it. Because if we talking about X's and O's and we talking about things on the field, Shedeur Sanders is crossing a lot of the boxes. And now I'm not really seeing any arguments in terms of the X's and O's, because one week it was, well, he can't make that throw. Another week it's, well, he can't, he's still a check down merchant. Another thing is this, and then it's this. And then now it's like, well, he's cocky, or he's arrogant. And now we're not even talking X's and O's no more. So, like, yeah, that tweet that I had during the game is, y'all running out of things to say, and this is just showing what type of person you are at the end of the day. That when it really boils down to it, when you comment some type of hate, just after you comment it, just look at it and be like, damn, I must be a miserable person. Because why am I hating on someone who has done nothing in terms of, being negative or bad as a human being? What exactly is where's my hate stemming from? Do I have a problem with myself? A little self-reflection would go a long way. That's all I'm saying. Shedeur needs to keep calling out reporters for asking dumb questions. He had a plethora of dumb questions yesterday. I'll tell you that. Nobody hates Shedeur. They hating on the Browns. They hating on both, actually. There's a lot of them in there. He's confident young man, isn't afraid to say so, and he doesn't let the hate set him off. He embraces it. His dad his dad was one of the most hated people, and he's been accustomed to it his whole time. QB is supposed to be cocky. You want your quarterback. Like, that's why I'm afraid of Mendoza. I'm afraid of Mendoza a little bit, because I just don't know if he fits to the Cleveland mold. I like I just see him getting chewed up and spit out like an old piece of gum here in Cleveland. And that's nothing to do with Mendoza. I just think that Cleveland I don't know, maybe he would be better in Detroit, maybe. Like, he could fit the Detroit personality, if you know what I mean. What's good, Hayes? All right, let's get into it. Let's get into some more. Let's talk about actually, I did want to pull up some Twitter stuff. There were some great posts. Hold on, let me share the screen real quick. I'm gonna share this screen with y'all. Boom. Hold up. Is that angle cool? We'll do this. Shedeur Sanders, first Cleveland Browns quarterback since 1990 to have 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown in a single game. Not only that, he is one of 2 quarterbacks in the Super Bowl era as a rookie to throw for 350 yards, throw for 3, and rush for 1. You know who that other quarterback is? What did I say? I meant 1950. What did I say? What did I say, chat? See, I'm sick. I can't even read what I say. I said 90 since 1990. Yeah, my bad. 1950. The only other quarterback to do that in the Super Bowl era, the 353 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing as a rookie, was Joe Burrow. You know who he did that against? Do you guys know who Joe Burrow did that against? He did that against our Cleveland Browns. Do you know what game that was? That was the iconic 5-touchdown game by Baker Mayfield in the game-winning touchdown throw, back shoulder to DPJ. And they lost that game. So there have been 2 quarterbacks to do what these 2 have done, and they have both came in losses. That is a wild stat when I look back and watch that. Where the heck are my bookmarks at? Here we go. Last time Shedeur Sanders and Caleb Williams faced off, which is what we're gonna be we could talk about a little bit earlier. We had a little showdown. Get your popcorn ready. It's gonna be a movie. Where's the one thing I don't it's the Titans thing. Whoa, it's the Titans. Well, there have been 12 other quarterbacks to come through the Titans on their schedule. And Bo Nix didn't throw for 364 yards. Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl champion, didn't throw for 360 yards with Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. Daniel Jones didn't throw for 350 yards versus the Tennessee Titans. CJ Stroud didn't throw for 350 yards versus the Tennessee Titans. Nor did Kyler Murray. Nor did Geno Smith. Nor did MVP candidate Drake May. Nor did top 5-6 quarterback Justin Herbert, nor did Davis Mills or Sam Darnold, the one who just got $100+ million, or Trevor Lawrence, the one who makes $40+ million. But you know who did? That bad man, Mr. Wrist Up, Shedeur Sanders. So I don't want to hear it's the Titans. Well, if it was the Titans, they all would have done it. Don't give me it's the Titans bullcrap, because I'm not going for it. Can we talk about Harold Fannin? Can we talk about Harold freaking Fannin? My freaking goodness. This guy is the truth. He is the definition of it don't matter who your quarterback is, you find where 44 is on the field. He has tight end 1 written all over. There may be only 2 other tight ends. There may be only 2 other tight ends that are better than Harold Fannin right now in the NFL. And that's Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. After that, the conversation needs to come with Harold Fannin, because look at this. 15 catches, 197, 2 touchdowns with Shedeur in 3 games. In 6 games with Dylan Gabriel, he went 27 catches, 262 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And with Joe Flacco, he still had 17 receptions and 160 yards. It doesn't matter who his quarterback is, that man is going to feast and he's going to eat. And he has that ability. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, we don't need quarterback next draft. We don't need it. You need to go out and find out who you want your stud receiver to be. Whether you go and make a trade, whether you draft a guy in the first round, you need to go get that offensive weapon on the outside who is going to be the dominant one, there's going to be no question, a bona fide wide receiver 1. And then you need to go shore up this offensive line. And once you do that, you can do whatever you want after that. But moving into next season, there should be two quarterbacks that you're moving this thing around. 12 and 4. And I know people don't want to hear the 4-1. 4 is not going anywhere. He's going to be QB2 next year. So we need to go ahead and stack up this offense just like we did with the defense last year. We all sat here and thought collectively that they should have won offense with the first 2 picks. They win defense. Well, next year they need to go first 3 picks with offense, because we can see how transformative A draft can have you if you get the right guys, which also leads me to my other point that I want to have. I'm not done with the Andrew Berry experiment. And I know there's a lot of people who are. I know there's a lot of people who are done with the Andrew Berry experiment. And I'm going to put it in gambling terms for you DJs out there. What's the one thing you say when you at a table and you've won 4 or 5 hands in a row? You do not come off the heater. And this man has an all-pro linebacker, essentially, Mason Graham, who looked to have fit the bill, a guy who filled Nick Chubb's shoes, which we never thought anybody could come in and do, and what's looking like could be a potential all-pro tight end, Samson, who's a stud, and then you potentially are sitting on a gold mine with Shedeur Sanders. Why would we want to get rid of a guy who just cooked up this draft? Why would we want to get rid of this guy who not only cooked up this draft, but also can cook up that cap space? This is the one thing we got to remember. Remember, they care about Brook Park. If we want to hover, look, I can't even talk. If we want to hover and we want to survive these next few years before getting to Brook Park, you need to make sure your money right. And Andrew Berry is the best with that money. And it just so happened that he might know a little something about football. He ain't the best. I'm not going to see he's sitting here and he picks the best. I'm not going to do that. But what we got is what we got as of recent. And as of recent, you didn't just hit a home run. You just didn't hit a grand slam. You hit 2 grand slams in one game, essentially. So I'm not ready to throw that away just because he's part of the regime with Stefanski and he had a couple bad decisions along the way. I need to see this continue to stack up. Malik Collins. We talk about the run defense. That was a big thing that they harped on, and it was amazing to me when I went back and listened to it again that Kevin Stefanski's first words and thoughts were, well, yeah, we got it. Our run defense really let us down, and it's like, it's so weird, and I hate when we get to the situation because the defense has carried the jock strap, the shoulder pads, the helmet, and everything up until this point. And the one game that we needed them, they didn't live up to their part. But you never quick to want to point in one direction where the blame is on the offensive side of the ball. And the one time your offense is clicking, all of a sudden the defense should have stopped the run. No, Kevin, we know that, but why are you telling us that when you ain't never did that for your offensive side of the ball? I hate how he picks and chooses when he wants to give us something and not give us something, because whenever it comes to the offense, he ain't giving us nothing. But you quick to let us know that, hey, run defense just wasn't where it needed to be, but we'll fix it and we'll do better. Thanks, Kevin. I know we'll do better on the defensive side of the ball because Jim Schwartz knows how to make adjustments. Jim Schwartz knows how to get the most out of his talent. I'm not worried about our defense, and especially the guy who's leading our defense, because he's shown us that he can produce a top 2, top 1 defense in the league. You know what Kevin Stefanski hasn't shown us? That Kevin Stefanski has only shown us a top 10 offense one time, and that was actually being number 10. When is enough? But that boy Chad Ochocinco said, this is a guy who's talking like he's safe. And he's safe for this year. I will have a hard time believing or buying in next season if they roll out Kevin Stefanski again, especially after the comments that he had when he said, well, he stood right up there at that camera and said, well, I can tell you what, 3-14 ain't gonna cut it. You don't say, Kevin. Well, guess the trajectory. Guess where that chart going, Kev? 3 and 4. It's going 3-14, buddy. You got the Bills. You've got the Bengals, the Steelers. Do we got the Steelers again? And whoever the Bears. Good luck, bud. Good luck with my chair trying to sit down. I just almost bust my ass trying to scoot up. What is that about? But yeah, I kind of lost my thought there. Let's go back to the what you call it. Where was it? I feel like there was another. There was another bookmark I wanted to see. Hold on. We got the Harold Fannin. How many? I don't lose my voice again. I'm trying. It's struggling right now. How many times have we heard this about Dylan Gabriel? When is the last time we heard this come out of anybody? Even when Joe Flacco was here, we had it wasn't, oh, it's his team. Thank you. Baker, after that first game, Jarvis Landry, Odell, and them boys was calling him 6. And he was dangerous. You got players from the other team. You know, a lot of people always say, well, look at them. They're taunting Shedeur with his wrist thing. Do you know that is the most common form of flattering someone? Do you know that that's called having an impact? And you know, for the other people who hate I've seen a couple handful of people say that wrist thing is so stupid. Really? Was the Cam Newton one stupid? Was the discount double check one stupid? Was the Dante Culpepper one stupid? Was the LaDainian Tomlinson flick stupid? Was the Ray Lewis stupid? Was T.O.'s flying like a bird stupid? I mean, I could go down the list of guys who have had signatures, signature celebrations. But it's a problem now. Johnny Manziel, was that stupid? I mean, it was stupid if you weren't, a Browns fan, because everybody hated Johnny Manziel. But when all these guys have signature things, it's cool. But man, Shedeur Sanders wearing his own brand up to the podium. Oh, how unaware of the situation can you be? Bruh, miss me with that, man. We got best players on opposite teams understanding that, bro, it's his team. Like what we talk about, man. They weren't doing that for what you call it. If you guys saw this, this was the coldest clip ever, because I first saw this and I'm like, damn, that's kind of crazy. But then I was thinking, like, wait, hold up, that boy Simmons hit him with it first. People's faces. That boy Shedeur threw the touchdown and said, hold on, wait, let me go find Jeffrey Simmons real quick. Watch out real quick. Watch him. Hello. One more time. Bro, this is the coldest thing. I'm so glad Smiles Alive got this clip, because that was the hard by itself. He ain't need no backup. Went right up to that lineman and said, boom. It's ignorance, but it's not ignorance when the defense was doing it first. He responded. Now it's ignorance. Tommy, shut the hell up, please. Shut the hell up. Because if your boy Baker Mayfield was doing that, you would have loved it. He didn't do it first. This was after. This was the game-winning. This was after. This was after Simmons did it first.
What time it is.
Right, they did it first, like Freddie Kitchens, right? Isn't that what Freddie Kitchens said? They started it, and we love that. Don't we love that? Did we not? We made shirts. When we saw Freddie Kitchens coming in with that shirt that said they started it. Oh, we love that. But y'all don't love that. I got you. I see you. Why can't I hear this? Hold up. Chad, where my audio at, man? They don't want us to be great today. Where my audio at? It should be on.
Life, when you a fan of his family, especially with Deion, them guys were right there in my backyard in Jackson State. So, I was kind of watching them, especially when they was at Jackson. Predator, man. Like,
this is Jeffrey Simmons on Shedeur.
When you a fan of his family, especially with Deion, them guys were right there in my backyard in Jackson State. So, I was kind of watching them, especially when they was at Jackson State. So I been knew he was a competitor. I mean, it's the reason why you see the pre-draft things with him and Shedeur. I mean, him and Cam. So, like, he's a competitor. He's gonna talk smack. I love it. I told him. We talked out the game and throughout the game, like, that's his team now. So he gonna be a star in this league. He already a star. So you enjoy it when you a star. So he gonna be a star in this league. He already a star. He gonna be a star in this league. He already a star. He gonna be a star in this league. He already a star. So you enjoy it when you playing against a guy like that. That's can give you a little smack talk back, but you enjoy it when you playing against a guy like that. That's can give you a little smack talk back, but you also gotta kind of let him know he's still a rookie. I told him that. He was like, "God damn, you back here every play." I'm like, "He's a rookie." So it was fun. It's fun to be able to, smack talk, but also still respect the game. You got to competitor, man. Like,
why are we afraid of it? That's what I want to know. Why are we afraid of the signs? Baker worked because Baker was different than other quarterbacks. And I'm kind of tying in Mendoza with it. That's why I'm afraid of Mendoza. To be in Cleveland and to be a Cleveland quarterback, it takes different for it to work. Because think about just the recent history. Different was the only thing that did work. Jarvis Landry came in and changed the whole mindset. But Baker Mayfield came in and brought that pedigree, brought that fire, brought that will, right? When Joe Flacco worked, you had went through PJ Walker, you had went through DTR, you had went through who was the other quarterback? I feel like there was one other more quarterback that we had, Deshaun Watson. You had went through all these quarterbacks before it ultimately got to Flacco. Shedeur Sanders fits every facet of different. And what makes it even more is that what is the one thing we always talk about? Sure, we're not New York. Sure, we're not Texas or any of these other major market media outlets. But there's a different type of spotlight in Cleveland. There's a different type of, expectation that comes with Cleveland. And not everybody can thrive here. He's built for those moments. He's built for that limelight. He's built for any limelight. He's built for adversity. He has been put in that situation his entire life, knowing who his dad is. He fits exactly what the quarterback like the mold of what we want. He can handle the media. He's good with his words. He has all the leadership tangibles, and we're not even talking about the X's and O's stuff on the field. So why are we afraid that he's not what we see from other quarterbacks? Because every time we try to go get every time we try to go get AKA Deshaun Watson, the other guys, it doesn't work. But Shedeur is that different. So don't be afraid of it. Embrace it, because we're the Cleveland freaking Browns. We have to be different. It has to be the grittiest, most uncomfortable way to have success. That's how we do it. That's how it's always been. So I want a guy who's got the moxie. I want a guy who's not afraid to bark back at the media members. I want a guy who's not afraid to put his wrist up in your face and let you know that I'm here to compete and do that. That's what he's saying. That's all Jeffrey Simmons is saying. It was nice to go out there and compete with somebody who on that same type of timing. Because Dylan Gabriel, he wasn't on that type of time. He wasn't. Let's keep it a buck. Apparently, they caught Shedeur telling David and Joker to get his ass up. We'll listen to it. Where is it? Listen to it.
Sanders has when he finds that one-on-one opportunity. Beautiful touch pass later to the tight end. The Joku, that is
we didn't get no injury report on David Njoku to find out if that's if his knees really messed up or something. But what we did get today in the Kevin Stefanski press conference that I find very, very interesting, and let me pull it up real quick as to why I find it very, very interesting. They were asked about the injuries. Asking who's in the protocol, like is Tillman and those guys in the protocol, And guess who was asked about? Guess one of the players who was asked? Wyatt Teller. And we got an answer rather quick that Wyatt Teller's already going to be out this year or this game. But oddly enough, shout out to Carly Teller. Oddly enough, wait, hold on. Where's the one where minor calf injury? Hoping he's out there next week. Wyatt told us after the game that he was healthy. But when he was asked today, is Wyatt Teller already going to be out for this week? He didn't hesitate to tell us that Wyatt Teller was going to be out this week. So, minor injury? Or no? I know if Wyatt Teller doesn't become if he's not a Cleveland Brown, I just know, girl, Carly, you might as well play all I want for Christmas theme music and start singing like Mariah Carey. Let us know. We ain't gonna be mad at you. Carly Teller and his mom have never came out. Like, Carly Teller is one of the few social media influencers from a wife that doesn't get into any of that football stuff. She stays in her lane and she does what she do. And when she come out and start dropping little things and little stuff like that, oh yeah, there gotta be some type of problem. So I already know. Oh, we gonna get Phantom of the Opera whenever Wyatt Tellers decide to hang it up, and I can't wait because there's something wrong with that. I just scrolled right into it. What do we think about this interview, chat? What do we think about this interview? Because this is partially what's scaring me a little bit with Mendoza. Buckle up if you ain't seen it.
Does that sound?
It sounds so beautiful. I want to give all the glory to God.
That's
we were
not
never
wrong.
supposed
like
to be
that.
in this position, but by the glory of God, the great coaches, great teammates, everyone we have around us, we were able to pull this off. Whoever thought the Hoosiers would be here, but now the Hoosiers are flipping champs. Let's go.
You guys call yourself a bunch of misfits who found the right home at Indiana. Why was this the right place for this group?
It's the right place for process-oriented. We're going day by day, whether it's the offensive line, the defense, the coaches, special teams. We're all process-oriented to one goal. That's our thing, is we're brothers. We can drag teams into the deep end because we know that we're going to stick together and we're the strongest glue ever.
Tell me about does that.
Look, nothing he said was wrong. I love everything that he said. There's just something that just I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. But it just something just don't feel right. And when I talk about it has to be someone said puberty. when you talk about when I talk about having the right guy, it just I don't feel it. Like you telling me he would be Cleveland's savior? Nah, man. I don't buy into that. I really don't. But like I said, the glory to God, like the energy, I love it. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just can't quite put my finger on what exactly I don't like about that. Because there's something there that's just oh y'all a little bit. Am I crazy? Mendoza not better. Shedeur Sanders would be the number one pick in this year's draft. No, Shedeur Sanders would have been. It's giving cornball. Shedeur Sanders would have been the number one pick, or the number two pick last year. No. we have our quarterback of the future on our team. And it fits. This is why, like, I don't know why taking a quarterback next year, if we don't take a quarterback next year, it furthers my theory even more. If we do take a quarterback next year, I think there's a little bit of, I think my theories may have a couple holes in it. But if you draft a quarterback next year, you have to then go through the 2027 season, 2028 season, and 2029 season, 3 seasons before you can even get that quarterback into Brook Park. And by that time, we wouldn't. The way Cleveland quarterbacks is going, that quarterback is going to be gone. So then you wasted that first round pick. I'm telling you, I'm running with my theory on that. That they don't care until Brook Park. We ain't going to see that next swing and a miss. It don't make sense to step up to the plate and swing for a quarterback this year. It just doesn't make sense when you got Deshaun Watson on the roster and if Shedeur Sanders continues to go on the path that he's going. It just doesn't make sense. You praying the Browns move on. You're praying that the Browns move on from Shedeur. He deserves better. Go to a team and city that appreciates who he. No. See, are you a Browns fan, George? Or not? Because the Browns would quite literally be the perfect team for him if we are a leader away from this thing really going somewhere. A leader away. Like, and this is where I want people to really feel me on this when I say, like, we have seen teams go from the bottom to the top in one offseason. We've seen it with the Falcons. We've seen it with the Rams. We've seen it with the Patriots. You can go down in history and you can find a team. And all of those teams besides the Patriots made the Super Bowl the following year. The Rams, I believe, went 4-12 the year they won the Super Bowl, or they went to the Super Bowl after that. The Falcons went 4-12, I think, the year before they went to the Super Bowl the next year with Matt Ryan. We are a leader. We can be a piece or two away from making this thing right. And I think that's what Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett was harping on all this offseason. Remember them saying, man, we close. We close. We just need to get this thing right. They kept going to the quarterback position. Let's just say Shedeur Sanders pans out this year. You've got 2 first-round picks next year. Do we have 2 second-round picks next year as well, or just 1? You've got a plethora of picks next season. You just smacked the hell out of the draft this past year. If you get the right coach, it's up. It's up. Someone, and I think what they need to do is I'm about to throw some people for a loop here, and I know I'm probably going to lose some people on this one. And I know, and I get there could be, I could be wrong on this, but if you could drop a like on the stream real quick, we got a couple hundred people here. Let's get to 100 likes. We got 61 on YouTube. Shout out to everybody on the YouTube channel. Shout out to everybody on TikTok. If you want the most out of Shedeur Sanders, and I never thought that I would have this take, but after just seeing Shedeur and knowing how, like, there's something with it, you want the most out of Shedeur Sanders, you go get his dad. I don't know why. I've never seen someone elevate their play, elevate their level as much. It's different. Like, usually the father-son thing doesn't really work, right? Like, it's always a pipe dream. It doesn't make sense. But there's listening to Shedeur and seeing how the relationship is between Shedeur and Prime. It's not just X's. Like, he wants to show out for his dad so much. And the way that the way Deion elevates Shedeur to that level, that is priceless. You can't pay for that. You know what I mean? Like, it'll never happen. I do agree. I do borderline agree with it. And that's why I said I might lose some people with this. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Prime is a great coach. Like WT. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's this over-the-world top coach. What I'm saying is we're talking about leaders of men. We're talking about leaders. We're talking about having the right leaders. Stay with me here. Our leader is Shedeur Sanders if he's the quarterback. You want to get the most out of that leader because we already know what he's doing without any type of leadership or structure. You want to get the most out of it? Listen to every time he talks about his dad, how he wants to make his dad proud, how he knows his dad is upset. That's in his mind 24/7. He ain't just going out there trying to prepare for he's playing for himself, he's playing for God, he's playing for the Browns. And then every time he always mentions it. I know dad ain't happy to about that one. I know dad gonna chew me out about that one. I just think that it would be a fun trial run for 2-3 years. What would it hurt? Because let's just say we get that trial up until Brook Park. You mean to tell me if it didn't work? Let's just say it. You mean to tell me that if it didn't work, if it worked, that Brook Park wouldn't be a damn party for, I mean, leading up until week 1, there may be people lined up outside Brook Park the second the season ends, when you know the season's about to start, because it's gonna be so much of a damn party. like you talk about swag, bringing the Louis. We saw him bring the Louis from Jackson State to Colorado and change that franchise in a matter of a second. I'm saying if you got one opportunity to get Prime in your grasp. And I think this would be the thing, because if it don't work, you can just dismiss it. You can get rid of Shedeur, you can get rid of Prime, and then you can go and get your guy moving into Brook Park. Once you get into Brook Park, I'm telling y'all now, I said it on the Honor the Land show. We're getting the Jimmy Haslam that we're getting come Brook Park is Barry Bonds in San Francisco when he looked like a completely different human and his head was 2 times bigger. Y'all thought that swing and a miss with Deshaun was big? Haslam gonna step up to the plate on juice. On juice. I'm telling you, on juice. And we gonna see swings and misses or connections like we've never seen. He going for the home run record the second Brook Park is up and running, because that's his. That's his baby. That's his project. That's his stadium. That's his history. We ain't talking about Modell no more. We ain't talking about the move to Baltimore. We talking about the move to Brook Park. And we talking about everything that comes after that. This is a billionaire owner putting $5 billion facility down in a thing. You think he not going to take a swing and a miss? You think he ain't about to go try to win? Oh, y'all got another thing coming. That's why I keep telling y'all, I know y'all don't like Jimmy. I know. Just wait. Give it a year or 2 after Brook Park. Then we can have the conversation. Because you don't buy a team for $1 billion. You don't continue to buy, you don't continue to try to put more money into the team and build a stadium if you're not trying to win. And just because he took a swing and a miss one time here in Cleveland and it didn't work out, don't mean that billionaire owner ain't gonna take a couple more swings at this thing. I'm gonna bring in my boy Master. He been in a Discord call. If you guys are a YouTube member, a TikTok member, a Twitter member, Instagram member, any of those things, join the Discord, join the drag channel. And I'm from now on, anytime we go live, whether it's a commercial break on the live streams, we're gonna have dedicated member live streams as well. Make sure you guys join the Discord so you can join the live and talk your opinion, and we can have a little bit of dialogue. And since the Master's the only one in here right now, shout out to my dog. You want to talk about OG supporters? I know I got a lot of OG supporters on TikTok. He might be the first OG YouTube supporter that I had since streaming on YouTube. I don't think there's one. I don't think there's one more than him. Or what you calling him? How am I being restricted? People be hating on y'all. We got some haters on TikTok, man. Shout out everybody on YouTube, man. Come on over to the YouTube channel. But let's bring in my boy the Master. Hold on, I got to undeafen myself. I ain't too good with this Discord stuff. I got to reset everything up. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can get this. I gotta make sure the audio. See, look, it wouldn't have worked. Okay. Yo, Master. Hold on. Show more. All right. Can you hear me? Test. Hold on. Is it working? Test. Can you hear me, the Master? You don't have permission to talk. How do you hold on, let's do this. Now can you talk? No? Hold on, we'll just do this then. We'll go back to this one. All right, is it working now? Can you talk now? There he is. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? How's my mic sounding, by the way?
You're good. Can you guys hear him in chat? One's in chat if you can hear him. Make sure we're good, because I know last time we tried to do this stuff, it was all messing up. All right, you're good. They can hear you.
Cool. And first, let me say, it's nice to finally like talk to you and meet you, even if it's not in person. Big fan.
Yo, I appreciate you, bro.
But I have so much to say. I don't know how long you plan on keeping me on, but I have
Go
a lot
ahead.
to
You got
say.
the floor is yours, man.
So, for one, I'll start with the most recent thing you were talking about, the Haslam thing. I want to buy into the fact that he's just waiting till Brook Park, but like the dude came from the Steelers organization when I think right before he first signed, bought the Browns, he said he was 1,000% Steelers fan. So part of me is like, I feel like he just bought the team to like destroy us at every step of the way and just cause this fan base misery. But that might just be tinfoil hat kind of deal, you know?
Maybe something there.
But I would like to think that, okay, once we get to Brook Park, once we move, out of the, I guess you could say the Modell kind of area, that then when we get there, it'll be better and to actually like try. Because like I didn't hate the Watson trade. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, mainly because of all the accusations he had. But like, if you're going to take a swing it might as well be at the number one QB in the free agency pool, you know. But that went how it went. If he can still come out and perform, I'd love it. Like all that controversies in the past. So because at the root of it, I'm a Browns fan, so I don't care who's the QB. I don't care who's on the team, as long as they can perform. Let them perform. And if it's Stefanski who's holding him back, then that coach it's got to be changed, because what we see every week is Stefanski making stupid decisions, whether an undisciplined team. Like I don't know how you can fathom, like I don't know how in your right mind you see your starting quarterback make 2 clutch scoring drives to even give us a chance to go to overtime, and you pull him for the most crucial play of the game. I don't know how you do that. And you're supposed to be some offensive guru. I was talking to my mom weeks ago, and she made a joke, but like it might be valid, that she said, she was like, I think Stefanski made the rumor up about him being an offensive guru himself, because she's like, I haven't seen it. I'm like, might be right.
Yeah, I damn sure ain't seen it. What do you would you rather see Shedeur Sanders start next year or Deshaun Watson?
Right now it's leaning towards Shedeur. I really like him. I think he's basically what Baker was, but I think let me find the words for this. Because he's not exactly like Baker, he's
I get what you're saying though.
Style. The attitude is the same, but I think he has more of a head on his shoulders, and he's not coming into literally like from the bolts up rebuild, because like, and what you said earlier about like the whole analytical stuff, the Ivy League analytical shit is what got us to 1-31. Pardon my French, but that got us to 1-31. So I hate the whole like, oh, analytics, like they're good, but you cannot bank on them 100% of the time. Like you can't bank on it, like, because football any given Sunday, like, but Baker was coming in at like 1 off of 1-31 with a locker room who had clearly turned on the coach by that point. Like he was pretty much going to be out the door halfway through the season. It was pretty obvious. Like, and when Baker got here, he showed out. He became pretty huge pretty quickly. And then this young dude just got the whole weight of like the city basically thrusted upon his shoulders. And I think that's what screwed him up. Like he was basically handed the key to the city. And he was good, but some people fold under that. And I think he also made the mistake to play when he had his was it his rotator cuff or his labrum that was hurt?
Mm-hmm. No, you know what's funny about that? It's weird because, we talk about they're almost the same. It's almost like they took the Baker Mayfield situation and looked at Shedeur and said, okay, how could we prevent this? Because what did they say about Baker Mayfield? They said that Baker Mayfield needed to be an adult in the room and that they wanted the mature level. Well, they never humbled Baker. Like you said, they just gave him the city, the keys to the city, and it was him. They just let him do what he wanted. And I think maybe we're looking at it as sabotage. Maybe that was their way of humbling the Shedeur and to not get to that point again. Because I think as much as we hate, seeing Shedeur go through all of this crap, I think it's benefited him tremendously. I think he's looking at this game with a different lens now, and I think he appreciates everything a little bit more now, knowing that he did get humbled because you all season you were talked about being the number 2 pick in the draft, and you fall to not only the 5th round, but you also get buried on the bench. So the humbling thing is interesting because, like we said, we loved when Baker was cocky and confident and all this stuff, but at the same time, there was no level of humbleness after the point when things started to go for a brink. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say Baker Mayfield wasn't humble, but after things started to actually there was some real adversity and stuff like that. He definitely started to show that humbleness started to slowly drift away. And I think it's a blessing and a curse all at the same time for Shedeur, because the curse is being obviously he wants to play, but the blessing comes with it. It's like, damn, I low-key just grew up in a matter of 4 months because of this, because usually, I was expected to be this top pick and all of this other stuff. So I definitely agree with that.
See, I remember watching just the turn against Baker. Like once it was starting to get, the turmoil was starting to rise during that season, and then when Odell Beckham's dad came out with that video, it was just like switch was flipped. It's like the whole city was against him basically. And I remember I was sad about like him leaving because like it's like I'm 22, so I really haven't seen the Browns be good that much.
You've seen more successful football than I have. You kids are low-key spoiled.
I saw 2013 with Brian Hoyer, and then the whole Manziel. Horrible decisions with the Manziel situation. But there was that. I'm mostly too young to remember 07 when they went, was it 10-6? But they missed the playoff because of a tiebreaker.
Because because the Colts benched Peyton Manning and all their starters, and the Titans end up winning that game. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, so I've only seen like really two, aside from like pre-Baker Mayfield, I really only saw like 2 to 3 decent seasons. And it's funny because one of my like greatest memories was watching the 2011 era with Peyton Hillis, Colt McCoy, Ben Watson at tight end, Josh Cribbs, and I think that's more just like nostalgia, but it's like, so when Baker was here, it was like, oh my God, this team that I've loved for my entire life is finally good. And then it just went so downhill. It was just like, it was hard. And then, of course, you get 2023, Flacco fever. And we're like back to the drawing board the next year.
Yeah, unfortunately, I went through Tim Couch and Kelly Holcomb and Jason Campbell and Jeff Garcia.
Hey,
and the list goes on.
A lot of people talk shit about Tim Couch, and
That's
say
my
he's
dog.
a bust. But I will argue to my death that Tim Couch was not a bust.
I agree with you.
He was put in a really terrible situation.
He was one of the reasons why I love football. Him and Michael Vick were my two favorite. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'll get you in again another time. But hey, it was nice to talk to you, bro.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you too. I'm glad I finally got to actually speak to you.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be we're gonna start getting some members in here. We'll start having member only videos and chats and stuff like that. So I appreciate you being the first one to hop on and giving people a little taste of what they could get if they decide to, support like you do. So I appreciate you, bro.
Oh wait, can I say one more or two more things?
Yeah,
actually?
go ahead. You got it.
Number one, I've been commenting this on every post of Browns related. There is something fishy going on behind the scenes with decisions are being made to lose intentionally. And I think today was really what you said,
Oh yeah, you cut out for a second. You're back though.
Okay. Today was really yeah, this team is content with these stupid decisions for some reason. It almost I don't want to be like tinfoil and be yeah, they're taking money to lose, but it's really hard to not think that when it's we've seen the same shit. Again, part of my French, I know you don't swear much.
Oh, you're good.
We've been seeing the same stuff over and over again, week after week, and it's when is it going to change? Eventually it gets to the point where it's you must be doing this on purpose. You don't become a billionaire or an NFL head coach by being stupid.
Mm-hmm. You're making tough decisions too.
Yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to say was the stream. I'm a mod, so I gotta shout that out.
Hey, on the stream, boys. Let's go. I appreciate you, bro. I'll catch you on the next one. All right.
All right, bro. Have a good one.
All right, you too. All right, hey, shout out to my boy the Master, man. That boy always be supporting in the YouTube channel. He's been supporting for a lot. So I see Richard said, how do you call in? We're taking YouTube. If you're a YouTube member, a TikTok sub, a IG sub, any paid sub anywhere, those will always get prioritized. We won't do any live viewer streams this one. We'll do starting in the new year, I'm gonna have a schedule where we do this, not even starting the new year. I'm gonna work on that this week. Well, we'll do a dedicated stream where we can just bring in anyone. But today was just the recap and anybody who was subs on those channels. But I actually didn't expect us to have this good of a turnout on YouTube. I wanted to see if YouTube was if we was rocking on YouTube, and we was rocking on YouTube. So I'm excited to see that. What are your thoughts on this projected offseason? So I think this offseason needs to go, as according. You need to clean house. Am I with firing Andrew Berry? No, but if you want to decide to clean house, I'm not gonna hate it. The next thing after that, you have to identify who is the right leader of men with these team. And with that, I also think that, I know the NFL isn't the NBA, and I know that it's very hard for one specific player to have a sway in decision makings in the NFL. But you have, quite frankly, one of the top 3-5 players to ever play the game of football on your team, in Myles Garrett. He needs to be at that table. And not only does he need to be at that table, he needs to have a heavy sway in who he wants to be the leader of this team. Because if you don't include Myles Garrett into this thing moving forward, we will lose Myles Garrett. And he's under contract right now, so I know it'll be hard. I know the whole trade thing and the money and all of that good stuff. We're not in that department to even talk about it, so let's not get deep into it. But we will lose Myles Garrett if you don't figure this thing out. And Myles Garrett needs to have a say in who he wants as his coach moving forward. I know this isn't the NBA. I know he's not the quarterback of this team, but this is an exception. This is one of the top 3 players to ever play the game of football. You need to do right by him, and you need to see what he thinks. Who does he think is the right leader of men of this team? If there's anybody who has an idea of that, it's probably Myles Garrett. And the other person who's probably just as qualified to know that is Joe Patonio. And Joe Bitonio probably isn't going to be on this team next year because he's probably going to retire. So if you want this thing moving forward, if you want to clean house, cool, but you better make sure it's okay with Myles Garrett, because Myles Garrett should be priority 1C, 1D, like not even 2. Like there should be multiple priorities in one, and Myles Garrett should fall into that. So that's how I think this offseason should go. I think they should also go receiver and offensive lineman multiple times. I think we should be looking at this roster next year just like we looked at it and said, damn, they carried 13 rookies into the season. We should be looking at it again and being like, damn, and we were like, damn, they carried 4 quarterbacks on the roster. We should be looking at that receiver room and being like, damn, they got 4 rookies at receiver, 2 of them being in the first or second round. Like, that's the type of timing that I want them to be on this offseason. No JOK updates. He did do the guitar smash yesterday, and it's going to be interesting to see if he decides to make a comeback. Someone commented, was like, oh, this is the farewell thing. I don't know what to expect with JOK. I think JOK is also one of those players who cares about life a little bit more than football. And not like that. I think when he's on the field, like, we obviously cares about football, but I'm saying I think he has a bigger purpose in this life than just football. And if he decides to step away, I would support him 1,000% no matter what. But man, can you imagine this defense with Carson Schlesinger, JOK, and Devin Bush? And then with the like, that would be, I just think back to all of the Browns teams that we've had over the years, bro. We've never had this type of linebacking core. I mean, we've had DeQuell Jackson, we've had Christian Kirksey, we had Joe Schobert, but like it fails in comparison to what we have right now. And if you can find a way to bring back JOK, like everybody, he was our green dot. He doesn't have to be our green dot. Imagine JOK with his ears pinned back 24/7. Just, hey, see ball, get ball, make play. Nothing else. You're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street off of Carnegie. Like that's how dangerous it could be. And Soul coming through with the one thing that I always think. I think there's one target in free agency there's one target that not only the Browns should get this offseason, but it fits every bit of mold that Andrew Berry has in his scientific lab with beakers. It fits it. A.J. Brown should be a Cleveland Brown next year. I don't care what anybody says. He fits what Andrew Berry goes for when he makes trades for receivers. A disgruntled receiver who is unhappy with where he's at. And I know, why would he be happy in Cleveland? I get that. But I can guarantee you, A.J. Brown, that we will get you 10-plus targets. I can guarantee you that we will get you your guaranteed money. And we will work this contract out the proper way. I know you want to win. We are on the brink of winning. We are a receiver away from making this thing dangerous. You could be that missing piece, A.J. Brown. Look at what we did with Amari Cooper. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons when people said that $20 million contract was atrocious and it was a worthless. And then the following season, we gave Jerry Jeudy 1,200 yards, and both of them had games where they both went for over 250. Just saying, I know we don't have a good track record of stuff, but one thing that we do have a track record is when we trade for a receiver, they have an impact and they have a major impact. How many years they have the impact, that's decided on the player. But every time Andrew Berry has went out and gotten himself a receiver, he's cashed. A.J. Brown is literally the perfect candidate for Andrew Berry to go out. And just to throw the little, the little quarter in the thing, wishing Howie Roseman and Andrew Berry are. That's them. They rock with each other heavy. So I don't think, is it a pipe dream? Yeah, a little bit. But there's some realistic blueprints to that pipe dream. And that's one move that I would love for the Browns to make this offseason. But I think we should close there. We did over an hour. I didn't even think we'd get over an hour, chat. I'll take a couple of your guys' thoughts and comments in the comments right now. We'll get them up on the screen. So if you got any last second thoughts or comments, go ahead and type them in right now. And I'll look over them real quick. What's up, Caden? How you feeling, brother? If JOK comes back and we add someone to the secondary with a third and fifth rounder, get MJ back, it's done. People forget that that boy Emerson coming back next season too, which he gonna need a contract. He's gonna need a contract. Jimmy Horn Jr. Isn't he a Panther? Isn't he a Panther? AJ Brown is a locker room cancer. Linemen are needed. Oh yeah, they're both priorities. Lineman and receiver are priorities, but I just think that you can maneuver that type of cancer. Why isn't Stefanski fired yet? Great question, bro. Great president. Tyson Campbell compliments Emerson better than Newsome. Interesting there, because the one flaw that, when we had Greg Newsome on, if you guys are new to the YouTube channel, we've had Greg Newsome on the channel before. Great interview, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go check it out right here. Wait. We've interviewed Greg Newsome. We've had Alex Wright on. We've had Josh Cribbs on. We've had DeAnthony Bell on. Who else do we have on? We've had Shelby Harris on on Honor the Land. But Greg Newsome talked about how tough it was to play in the slot because of his height, like just the physicality side of it. When you're going up in the slot, you're gonna have to make more, be more physical. You're gonna have tight ends to deal with and stuff like that. You're telling me Tyson, Emerson, and Ward, two lengthy guys in Emerson, and they're almost identical, like in terms of build. I feel like I think Tyson might be a little bit more lengthy, and I think Emerson may be a little bit more stocky or muscular. But like, man, you can move. I would be interested to see a little bit of Emerson in that slot or moved around a little bit, just because I do know Emerson is a little physical. I'm intrigued with Tyson Campbell, and we got that boy under contract, which is nice. Check out our videos if you ever get a chance. Voices of the Land. Which receiver do we draft? One that will help this team. I don't care who. One that will help the team. Alex Wright seems like a likable dude after talking to you. Dude, Alex Wright is my dog. I love Alex Wright. He's one of the few players that never Hollywoods me every time I see him. You know how NFL players are. I get it. I'm not gonna feel some type of way about it, but I can see Alex Wright at midfield, and if I get his attention, he's gonna come say what's up to me, dap me up, and talk to me every single time. And that's why he will always be. That's my damn dog. And shout out to Mama Wright on Facebook too. She commented on my post. I was like, what the heck, Mama Wright in the comments? But yeah. So check out the YouTube channel for those past interviews. Like I said, we've had Greg Newsome, Alex Wright, Josh Cribbs, Joe Hayden was on Honor the Land. That was that might be one of our best interviews that we ever had, was with Joe Hayden. That was a banger. But let's make this YouTube thing consistent. I've tried this multiple times, but I feel like now we're actually starting to build up a little something. I have my other house under contract. As you guys know, this isn't the old room. We had an offer the first time get accepted. It fell through, but we ended up getting a second offer right when the market got back on. So we're under contract. Please keep it in your prayers, please. We need this to go through. Once this goes through, I said I had plans for this year. I thought it was going to be this year. 100% certainty, 2027 or 2026 season, I have big plans in store, because we got a budget to work with now. And that's the only thing that I was waiting for. So I'm really excited to take this YouTube thing to the next level. And might as well one last time. I mean, we got what? YouTube, TikTok kind of fell. If you ain't follow me on Twitch, on YouTube, TikTok, we're 50 subs away from 9,500. It takes 4 clicks. Click the link in the bio, click the YouTube, like the stream, and press the sub. Just 4 clicks. If you like what I do, if you hear often, just, even if you a haters show love too. Just come on over and drop a sub, because we lighten YouTube up this year. All right. So shout out to everybody that came through for this stream today. I believe we're Honor of the Land episode is out today. If you didn't go check that, go check the link in the bio for that as well. There's a link for the Honor of the Land. We had our episode with Max today where we recapped everything. We got into a healthy debate as well. I believe another episode is going to drop Friday for the pregame for Chicago. That'll probably be recorded on Thursday. Next week, I believe I'm going to have G. Bush Barbershop on this Monday show. So Monday, I was supposed to be live at 5 p.m. today. I was sick. I was napping. So we got here late. But next week, Monday at 5, I think 5 p.m. may be our time that we try to go live. We'll have G. Bush on. That should be really good. I know G. Bush is in the same camp as me in terms of with Shedeur and all of that good stuff. So that should be a very, very good episode. And I'm also trying to see if I can get Joe Hayden on. But if not, maybe I'll hit up my boy Cribs and see if he can get on. We'll get one of them. We'll get a player on here to try to talk it out. So stay tuned for that. But before you get out of here, press that like button, press that sub button. And as always, go Browns, baby. Here we go. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woof, woof. I love you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.